Yeah. What's good, man? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's good, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Gather around. Gather around. Gather around. Get comfortable. Get comfortable. You know, we kicking it. We kicking it. We kicking it. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. We made it through the week. We made it through the week. Excuse me for sounding like complete horse shit. But we're here. We're here. We're here. We're here. It's Friday. We made it to the weekend. Merry Christmas, motherfuckers. Merry Christmas, y'all. Merry Christmas. I hope everyone had an amazing Christmas. I was supposed to come live on Christmas. I had the whole shit set up. I'm not even trolling. I had the whole shit set up. Your boy overslept. We had a long Christmas Eve the night before. We was chilling. And by the time I got up, felt a little shitty, sounded a little shitty, and I wasn't about to go live for 2.5 hours sounding like that, almost 3 hours. And I also just kind of wanted to kick it with my girl and with our dog and just kind of have a chill day. It was a great Christmas. It was a great Christmas. I hope y'all had a splendid Christmas as well. Y'all got your gifts. Y'all got to kick it with family. It was great. It was great. It was great. It was great, man. It was great. I had a great time. It was a great time. Watched some basketball games. God, I sound like fucking shit right now. But we'll push through the show for today. So obviously, we had some Christmas Day games, all about the NBA. As you know, as Bron said, Christmas is for the NBA, not necessarily for the NFL. And it showed. It kind of showed, right? So we'll be getting into all of the Christmas games, all the game winners that have came after it. We'll be talking about MVP, Luka's injury, the OG's conversation. We'll be getting into all of that today. So before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe. All that good shit. It really helps the channel out. We're trying to grow this, take it to the moon. Y'all already know the vibes. And, you know, I appreciate y'all every step of the way. I appreciate y'all so much. But let's get right into it. And welcome to another episode of the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball, sports, and any other topic that comes our way as accurate as possible. Now, Christmas is and always has been, right, an NBA tradition. And we continued right down that path this year. We had some unbelievable games. This year. Some great matchups. The stars were out. Legends, up and like the whole nine, right? The whole nine. We got every part of it, plus some injuries as well too. So it was everything you could have asked for was right there, right? Everything you could have asked for was right fucking there. And let me turn this motherfucker down a little bit, actually, because it was a little bit loud the other day. I bet. Okay, so we'll start with my squad, right? We'll start with my boys. We'll start with my guys right here, my New York Knickerbockers and my New York Knicks. We beat the San Antonio Spurs 117-114, and we were able to stop an unbelievable effort by Victor Wembanyama, who went for 42 points, 18 rebounds, 4 assists with a steal and 4 blocks. Excuse me. And for someone that shot 16 threes, 37.5 is not the worst that you could do. He made 6 out of his 16. 16 of 31 from the field. So just an unbelievable game all around. But right on his heels, Mikal Bridges dropped 41. My guy had 41 points, 17 of 25 from the field, 6 of 9 from 3. To go with a rebound, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Jalen Brunson added in 20. And then, you know, some people will just gloss over this part, right? But Josh Hart had 12 points, to go with 12 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. And when we think about closers or closing a game out, it's a little hot. I think I'm going to take this off. But when we think about closers, right? Let me put this right on the back of the seat right quick. Yup. But, when we think about closers, we'll typically think about scoring the basketball, right? And Mikal Bridges had an unbelievable game, an unbelievable fourth quarter, unbelievable, right? But in the fourth, Josh Hart had 6 points to go with 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. And in closing that game out, he hit a 3 at the end of the game and got like 2 or 3 massive rebounds that didn't even give the Spurs an opportunity to get a shot up or get a play in to try to tie the game. And when it comes to winning basketball games, yeah, you would love it if your star players and your scorers, win games on game-winning shots, or we hit shots to close out games. But let's just call it what it is, right? You're going to need, where the fuck is this? You're going to need guys that can do exactly what Josh Hart did, which was get some massive rebounds, hit a big shot here and there in order to close out a game. And that was exactly what he did. Now, I know we started the year, I think it was 5-6, right? We started the year, it wasn't great. It wasn't an unbelievable start by any stretch of anyone's imagination, right? But we are now 20-10. And Mikal Bridges, I think, is kind of coming around. Him having that big game in that moment, I think will go a long way. For the amount of shit that he's gotten for the 3-point shooting and his shooting form, he made a ton of buckets that were not 3-point shots. And so you love a player that can mix things up, that can find a way, right? That could find a way to still get points and put points up on the board. Karl Anthony Towns has been unbelievable this year. Unbelievable. Jalen Brunson has come around and is really starting to have a really, really good year now. He started off a little bit slow, but he's coming around. Mikal Bridges coming around. Josh Hart is going to do what Josh Hart does. But when you look at the combination of these guys, the fact that they really look and feel like a team, right? Cam Payne, he was going viral for his pregame routine. It looks like he runs 3 miles before the game even starts at the half court, on the Knicks side of the court, which then Josh Hart jokingly copied, and then he couldn't even keep up with him. Honestly, Cam Payne, if you have that much energy, dog, you better be damn near Defensive Player of the Year. like that was too much energy you were exerting. But you love the camaraderie. You love the fact that the team is meshing. And, Karl Anthony Towns, they've accepted him with open arms. And you could tell that he's done the same to them. And when it comes to, these championship runs, they always like to say, you don't have to be friends with your teammates, or you don't have to be friends with them outside, or that yada, 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 yada. But it helps. it really does help, because you can have easier conversations. The tough conversations become a little bit easier when you have a built-in relationship with somebody, right? Telling somebody to get the fuck on and do what they're supposed to do. It's easier when you have a relationship with somebody, as opposed to you just go in and out. You're not speaking to no one. You're not really interacting. You guys don't really have an exchange. It goes a long way when you're trying to become a great team. And so the Knicks, I think, are building this foundation that they'll be able to stand on in the years to come. And when it comes to, I've been a Knicks fan for a long time, right? I've been a Knicks fan for a long time. There was only one team that really felt like this in my recent memory. And that was the New York Knicks that had Jason Kidd and Steve Novak and Shumpert. It was that group. That was the group that had this feel and this vibe to it. And then they fucking blew it all up and fucked it off. And, we saw what happened. Carmelo Anthony was the scapegoat and everything fell apart. But that was the only time where it felt like the team genuinely liked each other and meshed together. And so to now see this take place right before our eyes, we're seeing this shit in real time. Right? In real time, we're seeing the team come together, the team be a part of it. It's great. It truly is. It truly is great. And it's something that you just would love to see continue. And I get that winning does a lot, right? Winning adds a lot to the situation, and it can solve a lot of problems, right? It really can solve a ton of problems. But when you're losing, the close-knit teams can get over those humps of losing, right? And now when you look on the other side, right? When you look on the other side, and the San Antonio Spurs, Wemby is he's almost on an island right now. He's kind of on an island. Now, they are currently, what is this? 11th in the West, 15-15. And I just saw an article this morning about Wemby being in the MVP conversation. Now, we can't we can't continue this trend of MVP candidates being on these low-ranking teams. It just can't continue. And I get that he's having a very good year. Let him get his Defensive Player of the Year and move on. But he was hitting big shots. I know his three-pointer was a big conversation. First and foremost, I saw a whole article. Where the fuck was it? Was it like Bleacher Report? Let me see. I think I took a screenshot of it. Where is it? Screenshot. All right. It was like from Bleacher Report or some shit. And this guy was arguing that his ability to shoot the three-point shot is his path to become unguardable for Wemby, right? And that makes sense if you look at his three-point shot as something that complements the rest of his game. But if his three-point shot becomes his primary weapon and the mid-range and the interior stuff becomes secondary, I personally don't think that's the right combination. See, him mastering the mid-range and the paint, and now adding a three-point shot that stretches the defense out even further, adds something for them to have to deal with and think about, that's when he becomes unguardable. You see, that's how I know that this guy has never played basketball before, right? The person that wrote this fucking article, or that wrote this thing, that's how I know he's never played basketball. Because the way you become an elite three-point shooter, and even Steph Curry has said this, you don't start at the three-point line and then go in. He said some dumbass shit. He said, if you can shoot the three, you can shoot the mid-range. If you can shoot the three, you can improve your touch from everywhere. If you can shoot the three, you can create driving lanes. If you can shoot the three, you can extend your career. If you can shoot the three, you can become unpredictable. Everything said in that statement is wrong. We've seen a lot of great, unbelievable three-point shooters not become great mid-range shooters, not become great paint players. Oh, he said, if you can shoot the three, you become unpredictable. So why is it that I see an entire video the other day talking about how Jayson Tatum shooting too many threes now allows smaller defenders to be able to guard him because he's predictable? Because most guys have a package that they get into to shoot their three-point shot, whatever the dribble. And if you can do a little bit of homework, and if you can study these guys a little bit, right, then all of a sudden you can notice when they're going to do certain moves, and guess what? Defend it. Because when it comes to somebody shooting a three-point shot, all you have to do is contest without fouling. Their chances of making that shot all of a sudden shits itself. As opposed to in the paint, somebody can get, you could hit somebody up and down and they can go and hit a layup still. Mid-range shots, even a tough shot from the mid-range is never as tough from three because you're 15 feet away from the basket. That's why all the people that would bitch about Kobe shooting mid-range fadeaways, or Jordan back in the day, or whatever, it was a quote-unquote bad shot, but they're 15 feet away from the basket. It's not that far away. So this guy was dead wrong. You have to start from the paint and work yourself way out. That's how basketball is supposed to be played and how it's supposed to be learned. You don't all of a sudden start at the three-point line and make your way in. That's ass backwards. It really is. So for Wemby, who is already a very good three-point shooter, he's not utilizing all of his height. He don't understand that if he sit at the elbow, he can not only see the entire floor, opens up the corner three, opposite corner side, damn near every time. He takes one dribble. If he's on the right corner, if he's on the right elbow, if he takes one dribble going towards the middle of the paint, guess what opens up damn near every time? That opposite corner three, which now forces a rotation. You can get wing three-point shots, slot cut, a million things open up. But if you have him just standing at the three-point line thinking he's going to be effective and y'all are going to win games, you are sadly mistaken. So, I broke it down the other day already. He needs to pull from Kristaps Porzingis, right? When he gets the ball, turn around on the pivot, put your fucking foot in between their leg. What happens every time? They're going to back up and you're going to get a shot. They can't block you anyway. Easy mid-range shot every time, right? And once they step back, if you put your foot back, and y'all should try this if y'all playing one-on-one or whatever, right? If you get a post up, get it, turn around, put your foot between the legs, they're going to back up. Once your foot comes back, pump fake. See what happens every time. I promise you, they're going to either jump, they're going to twitch, something's going to happen. Your entire game can work off of that one thing right there. And it simplifies everything. So now when you step back from three, from the mid-range at that point, now everything opens up. But it don't work the other way. You don't go from the 3-point to the mid-range to the paint. No. That's not how it works. It's just not how the game works. It's not how it's supposed to work. And like I said, I'm not trying to shit on Wemby because I think he has an opportunity. Real shit, he has an opportunity to sit at the table with the greatest players of all time. He really, really does. He really, really, truly does. And the issue with today's NBA, right? Everyone is trying to be Steph Curry. And this is no disrespect to Steph Curry, right? But anyone can learn how to shoot. And anyone can learn how to shoot. I remember when Jason Richardson came in the NBA, the former dunk champion, couldn't shoot a lick. Turned into a very good three-point shooter. Richard Jefferson, earlier on in his career, couldn't shoot a ball in the ocean if he was at the beach. Couldn't do it. Turned himself into a very solid three-point shooter. Jason Kidd couldn't shoot to save his life. One of the top three-point shooters ever in three-point made. You can learn to shoot the basketball extremely well. Maybe you won't be Steph Curry, but you can shoot extremely well. And when it comes to what separates you, it's the shot selection, it's the timing, when are you going to shoot? All of those things play a factor that can really make you look unbelievable. But guess what? To all of the players that are trying to be Steph Curry, Steph Curry can't do what Wemby does. Steph Curry can't do what Anthony Edwards does. Steph can't do any of that shit. So why are you copying him? When if Steph Curry could, he would be like y'all. But everyone has this fantasy that they could be Steph Curry. And I'm not saying you can, but if you worked on your shot, I promise you can get pretty damn close. Especially on a given day. You could get really close. But on Steph Curry's greatest day, he will never be able to do what Victor Wembanyama can with his size, what Anthony Edwards can with his athleticism. All of these players. But all of the bigger, more athletic players are trying to copy what a 6'3" guard does. And all it does is it takes away all of their positive attributes, all of their assets. Their size, their length, their athleticism, their physicality. And like I said, it's not so much guys are shooting too many threes. Just don't let it affect all of the other things that you do. Right? But it was an unbelievable game between the Spurs and the Knicks. It was pretty back and forth. That second half was something. Let me tell y'all right now, that second half was really something to watch. It really, really was. What the fuck is this? And so, a great game. Great game in the books. Great game for the New York Knicks. Like I said, we are currently 20-10 right now. Started 5-6. 5-6. And since then, we have gone 15-4. So, you know, when you talk about the New York Knicks, we are creeping into that conversation of of, one of the really the best teams in the league. And it's not just our record, right? It's our makeup, the way that the team is assembled, the roles. When Mitchell Robinson comes back for the New York Knicks, right, it will give us the ability to play different lineups, play different matchups. And my dad was trying to crush my dreams because I said in the playoffs when we have Mitchell Robinson, if we need a Mitchell Robinson heavy series, we have him. If we need the size, if we need the athleticism at that position, the defense, and if we don't, then we could just keep playing cat at the 5. So Mitchell Robinson, I think, will fix a lot for us, right? And I can't wait. I can't wait till he gets back. But let's move right along because this game, the ending of this game was nuts also. Let's take a look at the ending for the Warriors-Lakers game. Let's take a look at this.
Them cut down the lane. What you can't do, Rui, Gabe, let him go. The only thing that can hurt you is right there.
And you can't point switch. Watch the point switch. It's not there. Rui's tough. But look, you got to give credit to Steve Kerr. And then ultimately, you have to give credit to the babyface assassin, Steph Curry.
The magic of Steph Curry once again. 38 points, his 8th three-pointer of the game. And the Lakers have plenty of time to get off a good shot.
And this is the thing. They know that they're going to switch across. So
obviously want to get the ball into the hands of LeBron James, who's being guarded by one of the great defenders in Draymond Green. James using the screen.
What a shot by Steph, by the way.
Reeves has it. 5 seconds to go. Reeves on the drive. Inside Lamb. He banks it in with 1 second remaining. No timeouts. Inside. He's covered. Reeves has it. 5 seconds.
He's dropping. What are we doing right here?
He's on the drive.
What are we doing right here?
Inside Lamb. He banks
What
it in.
are we doing, Jonathan Kuminga? What the fuck are we doing?
With 1 second remaining.
Horrible.
No timeouts. Here comes Curry. Launches at three-quarters court. Oh!
Absolutely horrible. So that's how the Warriors-Lakers game ended. Austin Reeves, game winner. Even admitted that the play was for Bron. It wasn't even for him. He just freestyled. Let's take a look at that again one more time. First of all, how do they let a 3 go in this situation is beyond me. Brother, what are you doing right here?
Rui, Gabe, let him go. The only thing that can
He said switch and stayed. And then for Andrew Wiggins, like, you can't let this guy drive on you like this.
Reeves on the drive.
He didn't have to body you or nothing. A straight line drive. That's the second time in the last 2 weeks where we saw straight line drive layups to win a game. Right, we saw with Anthony Simons with the Portland Trailblazers against the Denver Nuggets. Now we saw Austin Reeves drive on Wiggins and get a layup. And I told y'all, man, the Warriors had an unbelievable start to this year. Unbelievable start to the year. And now they're 10th. You know, everyone thought that, oh my God, their lineups, they got so many players, people are just rotating in and out. Oh, it's so great. No, the team is just not very good. They were winning games off of energy. They were winning games off of straight energy in the beginning of the year. And now when they got to go up against actual talent for talent, they lose every time. They lose it every time. And I want to have this conversation about Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors real quick, right? There are times where you have great coaches, right? Great coaches that have an ability to put everything together. They know how to manage personalities. They know how to manage personnel, put people in the right position to go and win championships, right? They know the media. They understand the NBA. That is a completely different skill set from having the ability to develop a player. And what we're seeing in real time is the difference between when Mark Jackson had the Golden State Warriors versus when Steve Kerr got the Golden State Warriors. Because they're both great. I didn't think that Mark Jackson had what is the word? He just didn't have the vision to create a dynamic offense with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and then eventually the rest of those guys, right? Even though they were still very good. But to get to the highest level, some of the nuances of the game where Steve Kerr saw what the NBA Finals was like year in and year out. Year in and year out, he saw what greatness looked like at the highest level and the strategy involved to get the victory. He saw it on the Bulls. He saw it on the Spurs. So he understood that concept of it. But he was always a role player. Compare that to a Mark Jackson, who became an extremely good player in the NBA, knows the process of developing into not just a starter, but a really effective player in the NBA. And clearly, Steve Kerr doesn't possess that skill. Because I saw him crying about Jonathan Kuminga shooting mid-range shots. Oh, you want the motherfucker to start shooting threes? And I get that Kuminga takes some horrible, horrible shots. He takes some really, really bad shots. But a guy in his fourth year, he should have been doing this 2 years ago. He should have been taking these bad shots 2 years ago. But he wasn't. And so now that he's kind of developed in the last 4 years, now he wants to try to put his skills and all of his attributes to the test. And he don't know what the fuck is going on. Because there's such a short leash on him now. You can't mess up too much. You can't deviate too far from the game plan because we have a star in Steph Curry that's trying to win right now. So his development gets stunted. He doesn't have the freedom to fuck up. Because the reality of making yourself into a star player in this league, you need to be given the room to mess up. You need to be given the room to make mistakes. Take bad shots. Have horrible games. Get a bunch of turnovers. It's a part of the process. And someone that doesn't get to do that very often, when he does get the opportunity, he tries some crazy shit. So it's in human nature. He's almost so excited. He's like, ah, fuck, I want to go do something. And he just does it, and then he gets killed for it. Like I said, he should have been doing this 2 years ago. He would be a much more tamed, much more calmer player by now. Because he's gotten that shit out of his system. But now, when they're expecting it, now there's the expectation, oh, he's going to be a star. They've been talking about it for 2 years. Oh, he wants to be the star. He's going to be the next guy. Not to mention the fact that he's been in trade talks over the last 2 years as well, too. I don't believe that Steve Kerr has the ability to develop a young star like Jonathan Kuminga. I just don't see it. I don't see it. And he is suffering big time as a result of it. Suffering big time. Now, when we look on the other side at the LA Lakers, right? Bron had another unbelievable game. He had 31, 10, 4 rebounds, 2 steals and a block. I mean, just doing everything, controlling the game. But, you know, I really do want to give Austin Reeves his credit, not just for the shot. Not just for the shot, right? But having the balls to take that. Right? Because guess what happens if he just passes that off to LeBron? If he just passes that off to LeBron, chances are they probably lose it. Just the way the play was running. Right? But now he goes and makes the shot. And initially, the coach is going to hate it. Probably hates it. JJ's probably like, what the fuck are you doing? But it adds to the pile of evidence that, oh, this guy is really like that. Oh, we can count on him in these moments. In these big moments, he will not only make the shot, but he'll take it. See, that goes a long way because there's a ton of guys that fold under that situation that would have just given LeBron the ball, and not only give LeBron the ball, but they would have made a shitty pass just trying to rush to get it to him. Oh, fuck, I don't want the ball. And so Austin Reeves, in that moment, understanding what's going on. Oh, I know they're gonna overhelp on Bron. Oh, I know what they're thinking, that I'm not gonna take this. He used everything that the other team was expecting against them and got a win out of it. And so, you know, I mean, and listen. Austin Reeves, I think Austin Reeves has been a really, really good player. I know I was saying that Dalton Knecht I think is probably a better version of Austin Reeves, but let me tell you, the confidence on this kid is different. Like the confidence, I said it before. We can have two of the same players, right? You get a much more confident player, that'll take him over the top damn near 10 out of 10 times. Probably 8, 9 out of 10 times. The more confident player, if they're at the same level, the confident player will rise above that other guy every single time. They're willing to take risks. They're willing to do things that people wouldn't normally expect, and that can catch people off guard. And you get moments like this out of it. You know, it's funny. I was just seeing a viral video about when Gilbert Arenas was in a game-winning situation. I think it was, I forget what team it was. It was Brandon Haywood that was telling the story. And Gil was having a horrible game apparently. So the final play of the game was drawn up for Larry Hughes. Right? And apparently Gil had only watched the play until he got the ball, and then he was figuring out where to get the shot. Not even knowing that the play was for Larry Hughes, right? He blacked out, damn near. He blacked out. I think this is almost more impressive for Austin Reeves. Because he knew LeBron was supposed to get the ball. And he said, fuck all that shit. And took it upon himself. And like I said, that goes a very long way. The confidence to have the balls in that situation to take that, it goes a long way. It goes in a very, very long way. Now, we'll just go right down the fucking line. I think it was let's see. Unbelievable game between the Lakers and the Warriors. Oh, the last part of that is LeBron and Steph Curry a rivalry? And I saw a lot of mixed opinions on this, right? Some people are saying they're not. Some people are saying they are, yada, yada, yada. It obviously is. All the finals matchups, Christmas Day games, it is a rivalry, right? And I think the big part in why it's a rivalry is because they stand on opposite sides. They are completely different players. They're two players fighting to say their style is better. And the only thing that, in my mind, that says that it isn't a rivalry, even though I think it is, right, is the fact that they don't line up against each other consistently throughout a game, meaning they're not guarding each other. We don't get that mano-a-mano matchup consistently. But every other aspect of the game, it's a rivalry. And like I said, it wasn't just the fact that they went to the finals every time. It was the fact that their styles of game was so far from each other. And ultimately, we saw what style of basketball won out. We saw it. It's that light-skinned boy from the Bay. His style of game is what ultimately the trajectory that the NBA went on. So, yes, they are a rivalry. They are absolutely a rivalry. I think maybe because they show so much respect and love for each other, some people don't. They want to see them hate each other. But they've played against each other so much. There's such a respect, a mutual respect between the two, that because it's as if they're like, oh, I know what it took for you to get to that point. And there will always be respect from that. So you can never take that away from them. But it absolutely is a rivalry. Now, moving on. We also saw the Minnesota Timberwolves take on the Dallas Mavericks, right? 105-99 was the final score. And the biggest thing out of this was Luka Doncic, right? His injury. Apparently, he left the game on crutches. It was a calf strain, something that he's been dealing with for the last couple seasons, right? And it's funny because, like, when they were talking about the game right before it, I was like, yeah, you see they're on a run. They're turning into, one of the best teams in the West, right? It took them a little bit, but they're here now. So to see him go down is tough, and if he's out for a significant amount of time, I don't think they could be I don't think they make a run to the NBA Finals. Because Luka is such a rhythm player, right? He needs the season to catch the rhythm, the pacing. If you take him out of that and now you just throw him into the fire later in the year, I think he's going to have a tough time, and other teams are going to target him on defense. So hopefully it's not that bad. Hopefully, fingers crossed, right? Fingers crossed. And you hate to see star players go down. You hate to see it. But, we saw a 39-piece out of Kyrie, who, I mean, what do you say about Kai? Like, what is left to say about this dude, right? I mean, this guy is probably the most skilled player that we have ever seen on offense. I mean, he's just unbelievable. But let's take a look at the other side of the Minnesota Timberwolves for a second, who have been struggling a lot lately, right? They have been, what are they right now? They're 9th in the West, 15-14. They are, what is their last 10? 6-4 in their last 10. And let's see here. And Edwards, 11-24, 4 of 7 from 3, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, a block, 4 turnovers with 26 points. So I've said it before, right? I think they need to blow up this Minnesota Timberwolves team. I think these small victories just, I keep saying it. You're putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. It's not actually fixing the issue that they have. Their offense hasn't grown. And I'll be honest with you, I think Rudy Gobert is really fucking up that whole thing, because if you had a more dynamic big at the center position, I think it opens up Anthony Edwards a lot more. All it's doing is kind of clogging the lane. Julius Randle has been very solid for them, right? For what Julius Randle had to walk into, I think he is making the best out of a real shit situation. And then, you get a Dante DiVincenzo. Mike Brown back to the Warriors. Is that a real thing? Is that a real thing? Oh shit. This is just an hour ago. Oh, buddy. Breaking news. Oh, the guy. Oh, shit. He's fired. Oh, we're going to talk about the Kings in just a second. What's up, Bruce Morrow? Yeah. I just pulled up the article. I think that team needs to blow it up, too. I'm not going to lie to you. All the rumors of De'Aaron Fox leaving. Yeah, I think they need to blow up that Sacramento Kings team. And low key, I think they have, in Sabonis and in De'Aaron Fox, could potentially be really big pieces on championship teams. I really do believe that, because you have two guys in them that are just super versatile on offense, but they also can open up everything for everyone else. I think their team just looks random. Like the Sacramento Kings look random. But that sucks for Mike Brown. But whether he's gonna go back to the Golden State Warriors, I think the Warriors have a whole bunch of other issues that they have to deal with. I don't think Mike Brown is gonna fix those issues. Their roster is not that good. Mike Brown doesn't fix that issue. Can he develop a Jonathan Kuminga? Maybe, but acquiring DeRozan was definitely a mistake. I tried to rationalize how DeMar DeRozan could have worked out, but ultimately, the Warriors, you know what? That right there is the best thing that the Golden State Warriors could do. Acquiring Domantas Sabonis would be the best thing that the Warriors could do. Get rid of Kuminga. Like the Kuminga project is over for them. Let somebody else try to turn him into a star in this league, because the Warriors can't do it. But I 100% agree with that right there. That is, you took the words right out of my mouth, Bruce. You took the words right out of my mouth. I think he would actually help them quite a ton. And the problem with the Kings right now is acquiring DeMar DeRozan has made them even more of a half-court team than they already were. And being a half-court team for the Sacramento Kings takes away all of De'Aaron Fox's attributes, right? His speed, his quickness. De'Aaron Fox needs to be on a team that's up and down the court, right? So it starts on the defensive end for a team like that, so that they can just go up and down. No one can get set on defense, because let's call it what it is when it comes to De'Aaron Fox, right? He's quicker than you, but the defense for him is putting a body on him. And in the half court, that's a lot easier to do. I'm going to be your Italian. I'll keep going, bro. I appreciate you, Bruce. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate you. Hey, you onto something too as well, because not a lot of people saying Sabonis. Everybody want to talk about Jimmy Butler, this and that to the Warriors. Domantas Sabonis is the perfect fit. And I think a part of the reason why it kind of doesn't work with the Kings is because Sabonis wants to run dribble handoffs until the end of the day. Sabonis, he wants to DHO every fucking time. If you ever see him catch the ball, half the time he's not even looking at the rim. He's looking to DHO somebody, which is honestly the most perfect style of play for a Steph Curry. Right? Steph Curry coming off of DHOs, being able to get shots off going to his left. Now it opens up driving lanes for Sabonis. It would be so perfect. And I think also Draymond can help Sabonis in the sense of, okay, this is where you can set up. This is how you're going to do certain things. Sabonis is great. Sabonis is a really, really good player in this league. But I think he's a little bit too passive sometimes, right? And now when you put him with a guy like De'Aaron Fox, who, let's call it what it is, right? I think De'Aaron Fox should be shooting 25 to 30 times a game. If that 60-point game wasn't enough for somebody to see how good De'Aaron Fox actually is on offense, he needs to be able to shoot like 25 times a game in a high-paced offense. But playing half court isn't it. But no, that was great analysis on your part as well, because Sabonis on the Warriors would be scary. Sabonis would be real scary, and they need the size. They need the size as well too. So that was a super read. That was an unbelievable read, man. Mike Brown getting fired. That was not that was not what I was expecting to see. Right now, even though that team is ass. The Sacramento Kings are ass. Like, they're just not very good. Honestly, I think they need to just blow the team up and just try something else, because whatever they're doing is not working. And, I mean, we've said this before, right? Would he who? What's good, Elijah? Would he, huh? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Are you talking about Sabonis? You talking about Domas? No. I think they need to be together. I think Sabonis and Draymond should be together. And then not for nothing too, right? If you see the Kings, everyone tees off on Sabonis. So you can now have Sabonis do his thing, Draymond protect the whole team, and I think that would be a great recipe. Because I feel like for as big as Sabonis is, the guy gets bullied. Like, I'm going to just call it what it is. Like, guys take cheap shots at him all the time, and nobody ever bats an eye. But if you have a Draymond backing him up, I don't think that's the same at all. Trae Young and DeJounte, the Cyrus one may prevent it. Yeah, that's 100%. That. But that's kind of what I'm saying, Elijah. And maybe this is just me visualizing something that maybe wouldn't even happen. But maybe having a passer like a Draymond would force Sabonis to be a little bit more offensive minded. Steph Curry could open up a little bit more for Sabonis, because if you think about a pick and roll between De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox is trying to get downhill, right? Which clogs everything up for Domantas Sabonis. You flip that and put Steph Curry in his pick and roll situations, pushes the defense out to the 3-point line. Boom! All of a sudden you have Sabonis diving to the rim, Draymond on the backdoor cut or whoever, or vice versa, right? You get Draymond and Steph. But we reconnecting? Come on, bro. Reconnect. I do kind of like that though, and maybe Sabonis can kind of phase Draymond out, right? Draymond can take a little bit of a lesser role, but honestly, I think that he's still gonna get like Yo, isn't that crazy about the NBA? right? Like you could get paid out. Mike Brown don't have to work for the next couple years if he don't want to. Isn't that crazy? That is sick that the NBA does that. That is sick. But and Mike Brown wasn't he? No, it was not Mike Brown. It was not Mike Brown. But the Kings owner keeps thinking that his team is better than it is. Yeah, I think that one was that they had the playoffs against the Warriors that one year, right? I think they had a false sense of confidence because of that and never really built anything out of it, right? Never surrounded their guys with the right pieces. Honestly, probably like a Klay Thompson would have probably helped them out a lot more than a DeMar DeRozan did, if we're being honest, to just spread the floor out and spot up. But hey, it is what it is for the Sacramento Kings. But hey, man, shout out to you. Shout out to you, Bruce. Shout out to you. I didn't even know that happened yet. Mike Brown changed the culture, and the owner is not patient. I mean, that's the NBA nowadays, right? Head coaches are now terrified to do something different because everyone gets fired, right? A head coach doesn't have the ability to have 3, 4, 5 years to implement their system, teach their style of basketball, because you have damn near 2 years max to be able to make something happen. When the reality is, developing these players takes longer than that. They need to mess up for 2 years before you can actually see a shift in their play. But, you know, we're in this microwave style era in everything, right? In everything. Everything is got to be super quick. Everyone doesn't want to wait to see what actually happens. And not for nothing, right? Not for nothing. What's it called? For the Sacramento Kings, actually, we can get right into them right here. Because we're, where the fuck is it? Oh, here. We got to see this because this was heartbreaking. This was heartbreaking because we're talking about them right now. Y'all saw this? If this isn't an example of what their year has looked like.
Kate gets it into Hardaway Jr. Over to Malik Beasley. Beasley to Ivy for the pump fake. Oh, he got fouled. Yes, he did.
Like what?
Yes, he did.
How?
Oh, man.
Nah, bro.
He got fouled on a three-pointer.
Nah.
Are you kidding me? He was behind.
That's just unbelievable.
Oh, my mercy.
I'm not gonna lie. I think that was more bad luck than anything. But like in the last couple weeks, we've seen 2 guys get layups, game winners, where they were damn near able to walk to the rim, and we seen a foul on a 3-point shot. I don't know about y'all, right? But I'm common. This don't count. But you know, when I was learning about basketball growing up, right? Every coach would have had a fit. Every coach would have had a fit. We can lose all day long. We can lose a game all day long. We are not losing on a layup, and we are not losing on a free throw because you fouled the 3-point shooter. Like at that point, right, for Fox, and like I said, it's one of those. It's like a bang bang, you know. It was in the moment, right? But you can't put yourself in that situation. You just cannot put yourself in that situation. You are better off just letting him shoot at that point. Play the numbers. Play the numbers out. Disrespect the motherfucker. Turn around when he catches the ball. Turn around. Just let him shoot it. You are better off doing absolutely nothing. Anything but fouling him would have been better in that situation. Even if he makes the three, at least you guys go to overtime. And I've been gassing the defense this year. The Pistons been feeling like bad boys this season. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I know you did not. I know you did not just compare them to the bad boys Pistons, dog. I know you did not. I promise you, I know you did not just do that. Yo, it's funny, Elijah, because you've been gassing them up since the summer. Like, since the summer, you were like, watch out for the Pistons. They get the most random victories, like, and this was one of them. But not on a foul on a 3-point shot. Oh my God! I feel like at least back then the coach would have had to square up with the player. Like, we gonna have to square up if you go foul a 3-point shooter. Like, cause there is just no way. Just let the motherfucker shoot it. Just let him shoot it. All right? Let's do this, right? What is 23 shooting on the Pistons this year? If they were halfway decent, I wouldn't be a Raps fan. All right, Jaden Ivey, right? Jaden Ivey. Let's see. Jaden Ivey. 38.6% from three. I'm taking those numbers. I am taking that every day of the week. Go make it. Go make it. Go make it. Go make it. I promise you won't. I promise you won't make it. I would have taken the numbers at that point. And I get you got to go contest. That would have been the perfect time to do like one of those, like, you know when you fake contest, when you fake, you just make it look like you were doing something. That would have been the perfect time to do a fake contest for De'Aaron Fox. You should have given them one of those, but fouled him. Now they gotta go. I would be so sick. I'd be so sick, bro. I would be so sick. Hit self-check. Like, I would be so sick. And then bro hit the free throw. Like, come on. I'd be sick. What's he shooting on the line? 73.5% from the free throw line. I mean, that sucks. That was an awful way to lose that game. But again, right? It's the Sacramento Kings. It's the way their season is gone. It was so poetic, right? It was so poetic for them to lose that way. And now the next day, Mike Brown get fired. De'Aaron Fox is probably gonna get traded in the next week or two. This whole Kings team is all bad. Whole Kings team is all bad. And I'm not gonna lie to quietly, right? DeMar DeRozan has had a horrible season. Meaning, he's had a horrible stretch over the last couple of years. We had a general manager questioning if he's a winning basketball player, if he plays in a winning style. We've already gone over that, and we've gone to the conclusion. The numbers say he doesn't, even though he's a very good basketball player. Yeah. Yo, that's what my guy Bruce Morrow was just talking about. I was tweaking. I said, he just he said it. I said, nah, there's no way. The article came out an hour ago, Elijah. An hour ago, the article came out. Mike Brown's out of there. But, I feel bad for DeMar, right? He got to Chicago. Lonzo Ball gets out. Lonzo Ball gets injured with some freak-ass injury that I don't even know if he's ever going to come back from. Now he gets traded. Comes to the Kings. This whole team is getting blown up. Their coach just got fired. I mean, talk about a horrible way to end your career for DeMar DeRozan. He just cannot catch a break right now. So, GG's to DeMar. If I'm DeMar, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I know he just started his podcast. I'm gonna just retire, dog. like for real. I'm gonna just retire. Like, what are we? I'd be like, what are we doing? What are we doing for real? Like, what are we doing? He had an opportunity to go to LA. Honestly, that probably wouldn't have worked out either. But just one bad draw after another for DeMar DeRozan. You got to feel for the guy. That sucks. I mean that really sucks. Let me see what we got next. Some people are kind of freaking out over the Boston Celtics. I'm not really too concerned if I'm being 100% honest with y'all. I think that was a fluky ass victory that the Philadelphia 76ers had the other day. like those guys are ass. And here's the thing too, right? When I was watching the Celtics Sixers game on Christmas Day, it to me it looked like the Celtics was like, come on, bro, come on, like I'm trying to go back to the family for Christmas. Like, I'm not trying to do this shit right now. That's how the game looked to me, and they still almost won. But you got to give, honestly, the biggest takeaway from the Celtics Sixers game was the red accessories that the Celtics had on to try to commemorate the Christmas Day game, because we not doing no jerseys no more, which is whack. So that shit was horrible. But 118-114 victory for the 76ers. And then what was the final game that night? Oh, the Phoenix Suns and the Denver Nuggets. He was shooting like rent was due. Yo, he really was. 7 of 9 is crazy. 7 of 9 is crazy, bro. It really is. 7 of 9. I mean, but hey, look, bigger than than Caleb Martin shooting like that. Kelly Oubre Jr. cannot play 38 minutes and 29 seconds and get 4 points. 38 minutes and 4 points. What are we doing? What are we doing? 4? Nah, bro. I get that they won the game, but Kelly Oubre, you cannot be doing that. Like, I remember a couple years ago, he was dunking on everybody. Everybody he was dunking on. Where did that go? Whatever happened to that Kelly Oubre? What happened to that guy? Because the Sixers could use him for sure. But I guess the only other thing for them is, isn't it crazy how when Jared McCain got injured, and I remember this clear as day, Jared McCain got injured. They didn't even confirm what his actual injury was. And there was already an article about how, he's already not going to be the Rookie of the Year. I was like, wait a second. Y'all don't even know what's going on yet. And comes out he's going to miss the whole year and yada, yada, yada. Sucks because he would have been a lock to win Rookie of the Year on this shitty Philadelphia 76ers team. But, hey, man. Hey. But, I'm not worried about the Boston Celtics at all. Like, at all. Not worried about these guys at all. They'll be fine by the end of the year. We used to call him Tsunami Papi. Now we call him Kelly. Yeah, he just show up, be fresh, and that's it. Like, now we need you to go get some buckets, bro. We can't just have you coming up, be fresh with no buckets. Like, that, I feel like that's got to be a new thing. If you're going to show up to the game with a crazy outfit on, you got to get at least 17. Like, you don't need to go get 30, but you got to get at least 17 or we fine you. Like, we got to start fining guys for coming up to the game looking fly as hell and getting 4 points, bro. Like, that cannot happen. That cannot happen. I'm going to fine you if you're on my team. I'm going to fine you. But, I got no other words for the Philadelphia 76ers. These guys are ass. or time. You got to do something. You got to do something more than cardio out there, because you could have went to 24-hour fitness for that bullshit. Like, you could, like, what are we doing? Like what are you doing over here, bro? What else we got? Here we go. So, if y'all been watching any, the NBA media and shit, right? What's my team? New York Knicks, baby. New York Knicks. I'm a New York Knicks fan, New Yorker. That's my team. They're having a real good. They've been having a real good couple years, actually, but this year is looking up right now. This year is looking up. I'm not gonna lie to you, Bruce. I was very skeptical about the trade coming into the season. Very, very skeptical about the trade with Cat coming into the season. But they're meshing the way a good team is supposed to mesh, in my opinion. Meaning, they had a really rough start, right? They had a really rough start, as expected. The trade happened right before media day. So they didn't get to have a normal training camp. But, they're meshing, I think, the way they're supposed to be. Me as a realist, right? Coming into the year, I said straight up, if our goal should be to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. If we make it to the NBA Finals, that's extra. But the goal should be to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, because it's about taking steps, right? It's taking steps in the right direction. And we made a good run last year. Should have gone a little bit further, but it is what it is. I think their goal should be at least to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and we're definitely trending in the right direction, but we'll see what happens. Cat shoot too many threes for me, but he is better than Randall. He is definitely better than Randall. And honestly, especially to start the season off, he was probably, I thought he was in the MVP discussion very early in the season, especially. It's kind of tailed off a little bit. And he's still having big games, obviously, but I like our team. I like our team. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. If Cat stays inside, OG stays healthy, Knicks get another big, Knicks can win. And I keep saying this, and OG Anunoby is going to break my heart, but honestly, for me, the X factor really is OG. You said it right there. Because, Cat is going to do what Cat does. Brunson is going to do what Brunson does. Josh Hart is going to do what Josh Hart does, right? So those three players, in my opinion, you know exactly what you're going to get from them game in and game out. Not talking about the numbers, right? But the pressure they apply on the other team, right? You know what you're going to get out of them. And by the way, for Cat, he has been rebounding the fuck out of the ball this year. So, and I get it. He's shooting a lot of threes. But for me, it's to see him rebounding at the clip that he has been, I can live with the three-pointers. Right? The only thing that really pisses me off about him is all of the fouls. Like, he cannot be getting into foul trouble doing dumb shit that he does. But, like I said, you got to live with the good and the bad, right? I think OG Anunoby really is the person that can kind of take us over the top, right? He's the guy with size, a little bit of athleticism. He could shoot a little bit. He could cut and drive. OG really can take us, in my opinion, like I said, over the top. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when the playoffs come around. If OG didn't get hurt last year, I mean, we could have had a very different series. But, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. But let's talk about the TV ratings real quick. Apparently, this was the most watched Christmas Day in 5 years. OG was stop. We're not doing this again, Elijah. We paid the guy $216 million. We're not doing this, bro. We are not doing this. We are not doing this right now. You gonna break my heart, bro. You gonna break my heart. Stop. He played better later at the biggest moments for us. He is a diet superstar. Stop, bro. Stop. The guy's averaging 11 points. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this, bro. He averaged 11 points. We gave him $216 million to average 11 points per game. And that's not to say he's not a good player, but like, come on. Like, come on. Mikal Bridges with a broken jump shot is averaging more than him. Like, what are we doing? But anyway. We had the most watched Christmas Day in 5 years, right, for the NBA. In 5 years. Now, everyone has been talking about the ratings this season, right? The rating this, ratings that. Well, here's the reality. People don't watch anything on TV anymore. The ratings is not singular to the NBA. It's not just the NBA that's suffering. All of TV is suffering because everyone watches everything on every other program, right? But I don't think that the popularity of the game is any less, because if you look at actual attendance to games, last season they broke the record in attendance of the NBA. Right? And I've always said this, right? Because I don't be believing shit online all the time, right? When you see numbers for online, yeah, how bro get 40 with that jumper? Stop. Like, see, like you just he was 7 of 9 from 3, Elijah. He was 7 of 9. God damn it. But you know, everyone watches differently, right? And I think the big thing about the Christmas games this year compared to every other game is you can actually watch the games. You didn't need to go and get a astrophysicist degree just to watch a basketball game, and you didn't have to shell out hundreds of dollars just to watch a basketball game. So that's number one. That's number one, right? But attendance is up, so obviously interest is there. And what I've always said is this, right? All of these companies can fabricate these fucking numbers, right? Let's just call it what it is. You can call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but you can't fake when people have their butts in the stands at the games. That's something you can never fake. When the arenas are full, people are buying tickets. That's something you can't fake. So there is an obvious disconnect because people are buying tickets to go to games, which, by the way, the tickets are higher than they've ever been. So clearly, people are still spending money on basketball games. And like I said, I think that all of this viewership conversation is much to do with nothing, right? Basketball quality is trashed the last couple of years. I was actually having an argument with somebody on this recently, Bruce, because I actually think this year we have seen the most defense that we've seen in the last couple of years, right? And those same people that complain about, oh, the NBA is not physical anymore, there's no defense. Well, I just saw a basketball game in the Emirates Cup that ended in 91-80. And I thought it was a great game. It was exactly what people were asking for, but still people weren't happy. And you know, there was the article about, oh, the NBA is investigating. I don't want to see Randall or Draymond shooting threes. You ever seen that comment that said Draymond shoot threes like he got a backpack on? And you know, it's funny that you say that. It's funny you say that because I think this might be one of the better shooting seasons for Draymond Green. But here's the thing. OKC was missing threes left and right. It was trash, man. There definitely has been too many threes shot. Absolutely. There's absolutely too many threes being shot. But I also think that for the first time in the last couple of years, we have a little bit more of a variety in the teams that we're watching, right? We have a Boston Celtics that's shooting a whole bunch of three-pointers. And I get that OKC can have games like that too, but you have a team in the Oklahoma City Thunder that's built on defense. Everyone is cutting, and their best player is not even close to a three-point shooter. Very far from it, actually. So I think we're slowly seeing a lot more parity in the league, and it's just going to take a little bit of time. The thing that the media loves to do, they love to spoon feed you what you're supposed to see, right? They want to spoon feed you what you're supposed to see, but you got to be able to look past that, right? Because I remember in the 2000s, the mid-range is a lost art became a real thing. Could you imagine that in the 2000s? That's all I used to hear in the 2000s. Oh, the mid-range is a lost art. The mid-range is a lost art. Mind you, we had Kobe Bryant. We had Tracy McGrady. We had Allen Iverson, Tim Duncan. The list goes on and on of mid-range players that were dominant through the 2000s. Yet, they used to always say that the mid-range was a lost art, right? NBA players better be careful. Fans are not happy. All the known teams are mostly 35 plus. Embiid saying not gonna play back to back. That's not nice to hear. All right, let me pose this for you, right? When it comes to Joel Embiid, for example, do you think that's a Joel Embiid thing, or is that a Philadelphia 76ers thing? Because a player can't just make that decision, right? A player can't just outright make that decision. That decision has to come from the team, right? Their medical staff. A player can't just show up and say, I'm not going to play today. That don't happen. That don't happen. And I was going at the Philadelphia 76ers because Joel Embiid said that statement and the 76ers never backed him up on it. And granted, I know Joel is been on some bullshit, but I personally think that the Philadelphia 76ers have handled that situation horribly. Because like I said, I don't think you can make that decision on your own. It's Make-A-Wish, son. But listen, if you are gonna miss more games than you are gonna play, and I'm paying you millions of dollars, would I be happy about that? No, I wouldn't be. Right? So at the end of the day, right, I don't think players have the last say on that. And we've heard on numerous occasions how teams are telling players to sit out. This actually started with Greg Popovich. Load management, which now people have put on the players, started with Greg Popovich because the NBA was putting them on back-to-backs on national TV, and he was telling the NBA to go fuck themselves. And that's when it started, and they started finding him because of it. So I get it's a little convoluted, but I truly don't believe that it's a player's problem. I think it's a team's problem, right? I think it's these teams that are making some of these decisions, and they're just letting the players take the fall for it. Now, I'll give the NBA this credit, right? I think the NBA spins narratives better than any other league in the world. Their ability to turn all these narratives into their favor is unbelievable. So that's why all of a sudden we're hearing that the NBA is now looking into the three-point shooting. All of a sudden they're looking into the defense. They're looking into how the offenses are ran. Mind you, this is the best defensive ratings that we have seen since 2021, 2022. The best defensive ratings. We have 8 teams under 110 points per game on their defensive rating. The most since 2021, 2022. But if I don't tell you that, you wouldn't know because the media don't talk about it. They'll only tell you what they want you to think, but you got to be able to look past some of that shit. And listen, I get that there is now there's like this veil that makes us believe that certain things are going on, but I promise you, I promise you, the game is shifting as we speak. As we speak, the game is shifting. And what's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years is the NBA is going to take all the credit for it. They're going to say, oh, shit, we looked into all of it. Now we did our study. We did our homework. Now we're telling people to do X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. And now the NBA gets to spin it into their narrative. So now, oh, we got to fix everything. That's what's going to happen as a result of it. That's what they do every single time. It's what they do every single time. The NBA does an unbelievable job of spinning narratives in their favor. I mean, that is a problem within itself. I was talking I was talking last week about some of the things that Wemby should be doing differently. Watching some Kristaps Porzingis post-up highlights, I think, would go a long way for him. So, but yeah, what do we got? What else? Oh shit, we got to take a look at this. He definitely, I mean, that was my thing. He shouldn't have played in the Olympics. He definitely shouldn't have played in the Olympics at all. Let's take a look at this, and then we'll talk about and he playing with a fridge wrap. He looked like yo, this man said a fridge. I'm weak. Oh shit, that's funny. Nah, wait, we gotta take a look at this because I was mind blown watching this shit. Y'all saw the end of this game? There was no way, bro. This shit was crazy.
A chance to retake the lead. 22 seconds left. To Silva. Corner. Queen. Couple of dribbles now into the paint. Out to Goga. Caldwell Pope spinning. Looking for an opening. Can't fire. Shot clock under 5. Queen attacking. Lobs it up for Vitadze. Knocked away. He tipped it in. Magic take the lead with just under 5 seconds remaining. All around. Duncan Robinson checked in. Adebayo will inbound it for Miami. The pass comes in. Hero attacking, firing a jumper. It's
15
good.
minutes after practice is nuts.
To the second left.
Wait, that's like you ever seen somebody get fired at their job? Like they'll have you work the whole shift and fire you after. Like these companies ain't shit. These companies, I promise you, they ain't shit. But Tyler Hero with an unbelievable game winner right here.
Inbounded for Miami.
A midi too, a midi.
Hero attacking, firing a jumper.
A midi. And honestly, I've been saying it all year, right? Better be careful that the NBA do not send you a strike. I try to keep it. I try to keep it under the time. I think we'll be good. We'll be good. We'll be good, bro. But the Miami Heat, right? I think a huge reason as to why Jimmy Butler is gonna leave is because the Miami Heat have been favoring Tyler Hero. And it's not even Tyler Hero's fault. I think the guy wants to lead a team. And again, I was just talking about teams lying because Pat Riley had the nerve to put a statement out about all the speculations, and he said, therefore we will make it clear we are not trading Jimmy Butler. So we're just gonna pretend like everything that with the Miami Heat hasn't been happening, right? What happened last year in the playoffs with Jimmy talking all that shit, and then Pat Riley having to make comments on it, and yada yada yada. Tyler Hero's evolution. We're just gonna pretend like none of it is happening, right? Because Shams is the one Shams had broke the news saying Jimmy Butler requested a trade. This happened on Christmas. It happened on Christmas Day. He said that Jimmy Butler prefers a trade out of Miami ahead of the February 6th deadline. Right? They could say whatever they want to say. Right? This relationship between Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat, it was doomed since last year. And he's going to get traded. The only reason they keep putting out all of these statements is because they want to give the appearance that they have control over the situation when they really don't. The same Pat Riley that fired Van Gundy and had Van Gundy said that he wanted to spend time with his family. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Jimmy Butler is going to get traded. I think the Miami Heat are just trying to cover their own ass and give the appearance that they are in control of the situation when they're really not. They are not a very good basketball team at all. And they are a compromised group because that thing that they tried to, we have the Heat organization, yada yada, that shit's over. It's over. You guys don't have very good players on your team. The roster don't fit the way it's supposed to. It just is what it is. I mean, you're proving my point. You're proving my point, Bruce, and I appreciate you for that. So, again, right, another example of the team's bullshitting us to try to get over on us, right? And by the way, too, to get back to the defense point, this game ended 89-88. 89-88. The complete opposite of, this is a high-octane offensive league and there's no defense and yada, yada, yada that everybody wants to talk about. Meanwhile, these two teams didn't even hit 90 points. Like I said, these narratives that they've been trying to push, it's going to end at some point because what's happening in real time, you can't deny what's happening in real time. And the Miami Heat are going to trade Jimmy Butler because I think they just don't want to deal with the situation anymore. Me personally, right? I would just let a player walk. Like, why isn't that a thing? Just let the player walk. You get money off of the books. You have cap room to go do whatever you want to do with, especially if you're in a situation where you're kind of rebuilding, instead of now inheriting another bad contract. Oh, 100%. This Jimmy Butler, this playoff Jimmy thing, right? This playoff Jimmy thing has gotten us to believe that Jimmy Butler is the best player on the team. Well, some people forget that there's 82 games that you have to play before the playoffs. And that's cool if you want to be the best player in the playoffs. We still got to get there, bro. So, he's kind of gotten guys to believe. So, playoff Jimmy, all that really means to me is you're not trying. That's what that code is for. You're not really trying during the regular season. Because why don't you go get your 25, 26, 28 a game in the regular season and then bump up to 30, 35 in the playoffs? Why don't you do that? But what are you going to do instead, Jimmy? You're going to get 21, 22 points and bump up to 28 in the playoffs? Like what are we really doing at the end of the day? So I think that narrative has been pushed, and now some unsuspecting team is going to go grab Jimmy thinking that some unbelievable shit is about to happen, when the reality is the guy just don't try all the time. And that's not to say that Jimmy Butler is not a very good player. The reality about him, he's never been a three-point shooter, never going to be a three-point shooter. His defense is not what it used to be. Athletically, he's not what he used to be. He's got a ton of injuries now. And he's 35? Expecting a 4-year contract is just let him walk. Just let him walk. That's what I would do if I'm the Miami Heat. You could just walk. You could take this walk, buddy. We could walk together. I could walk you out. That's why I get mad when players only validate players in the play. 100%. Like, there's 82 games. There is a bigger sample size in the regular season where we can see how good you are day in and day out. And I get that the playoffs is a whole different thing, right? The preparation, so you being able to play well in the playoffs is also extremely difficult, but it can't be everything. We still need to get there. We need to get good seeding. Yeah, we need to get home court advantage. If you only show up for the playoffs, then what am I paying you for? That's not even on your contract. Like, why am I going to give you the $50 million if you're not going to show up during the regular season? What is the point? It's a piece of the puzzle, but for a guy like Russ, come on, what more can he do? 100%. 100%. I've always thought, right? I've always thought that someone like, even, and you hate this, like James Harden, for example, he was fried by the time the playoffs come around. You take a guy with him, with the usage rate that he got, the amount of shots and the dribbles that he would take, by the time the playoffs come around, Buddy has no energy. Take the same thing for Russ. And then you get teams that now get to game plan for it. It gets more physical. Yeah, they're going to have a hard time. But you can't take away how great their regular season was. It just is what it is. So I think the Miami Heat are compromised. I think this is over and done with. Jimmy is going to be out before the 6th. They're literally just trying to fight this Shams as the new Woj shit for some weird reason. For some weird reason. And that's something we'll probably never find out. But for some weird reason, they are very against Shams breaking this news. And I think it's very weird. I'll be honest with you. I think it's very weird because whether you like it or not, the guy is just doing his job. The guy is just doing his job. Well, Russ don't say he is the system. Yo, I love it. I love the hate, dog. I told you before, if you couldn't hate on nothing, life would be so boring. And I'm with you. But you know what I mean? The Miami Heat is getting mad at Shams for doing his job, but not getting mad at Jimmy Butler for not doing his job. It is what it is, right? But that's going to do it for me for now. Oh my God, 1 hour 40. I think this might be the longest episode that I've had that's not live during a game. But I'm done yapping. My fucking throat hurts. Pause. But that's going to do it for me for now, man. Now, before I get the fuck on out of here, please like, comment, and subscribe. All that good shit. It really helps the channel out. Yo, when you when you a little bit under the weather, bro, like everything feels like mad effort. Everything feels like mad effort. But that's going to do it for me for now. I appreciate you so much, Elijah, for hanging out. Bruce Morrow, you are the fucking man, too. I appreciate you for coming and kicking it with us. You had a lot of good shit to say. Yeah, man, y'all have a great weekend. Merry Christmas. I'll see y'all on Monday. Y'all have an unbelievable weekend. Y'all go turn up. Do what y'all got to do. I know you off right now, right, Elijah, from school. So Hey, man, go kick it. Enjoy it with the family. That's going to do it for me for now. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you, as always. Thank you. That's going to do it for me. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I appreciate y'all for that, man. So I'll see y'all later. Peace out, Elijah. You have a great weekend, dog. I'll see y'all later. Peace.